If you're familiar with the difference between a DB and a DC pension, then this isn't the video for you. You'll think it oversimplifies what can be quite complex sometimes. However, if these terms confuse you, then listen on, as I'm going to break down how these pensions work from the perspective of a complete beginner. I'm going to look at 3 different types of pension, and I'm going to use the terms that you may hear in everyday conversation, rather than those technical names you may hear when you look at your pension statement or when you look at a pension-focused website. So the first of these 3 pensions I'll talk about is the state pension, and although this should probably be the most familiar, it's actually the one I think that is actually most misunderstood. Many people think that they pay NI contributions out of their wages each week, and that when they retire, this is paid back to them in the form of a pension. Unfortunately, this is incorrect. State pension is a contributory benefit that's paid out when you reach a certain age, which is currently 66, moving up to 67 in a few years. And to get this, you must have contributed to national insurance. How much you get is not related really to how much you paid in, but it's related to how long you've been paying in for. So let me explain. Imagine you live in a street and the person that lives to your left worked for 35 years and always been paid about minimum wage. The person to your right has worked for 45 years and has always earned about £250,000 a year. They're a multi-millionaire and in fact they've got a yacht in the local marina. Now, the amount of NI that these two will have paid, they'll actually be wildly different, but they'll both be paid exactly the same state pension. This is because what you pay in is not related to how much you get out, but it's related to how long you've paid the minimum requirements for NI. So the amount you pay in doesn't really count. On average, a person will pay in about £85,000 NI over their whole lifetime, but will claim £235,000 in state pension. So these two things aren't connected. In fact, the NI you pay isn't even all spent on state pension. It goes towards running our NHS and paying job seekers allowance and universal credit and a whole host of other benefits. So some of the NI you pay will go to fund state pensions, but not your state pension. It funds those that are already retired. And hopefully when you retire, there'll be enough people paying NI that can be used to fund your state pension. So that's the first of our pension types, the state pension. The benefit that's paid from contributions made by people who are still working. Next, we will talk about what we commonly refer to as private pensions. So when people use the word private pensions, they usually mean a pension that you pay into where the money is collected over time, and when you reach retirement age, you can start to draw on that pot of money. It's money in a pot for you when you retire, and the more you pay in, the more you can get out at the end. That money may be paid in by you directly, or it may be taken out of your wages by your employer, and also your employer themselves might contribute some money into the pot. And it's not the case that if you pay £1 in, you'll get £1 out at the end, because your money's invested. If these investments go well, then you get more than £1 out. If these investments go poorly, then it's possible you could get less than £1 out. But however, if you're paying in for a long time, it's likely that you'll be getting more out, because actually investments do go up more than they go down, particularly if you've been in a pension for a long time. So we commonly call these pensions private pensions, but a more accurate term is defined contribution pension. This is because we know how much will be paid in, but we're never quite sure how much we'll get out the other end, because investments can go up as well as down. So we can define the contribution you put in, but not what the benefit you get out, therefore defined contribution. Okay, so the last major pension we're going to talk about is public sector pensions. And this pension is often referred as public sector because it's really popular with employers like the civil service and local councils, the NHS, universities, etc. What we think are public sector jobs. So private companies use the same type of pension, but this is becoming more rare. So with this type of pension, your employer takes money out of your wages every time you're paid and puts it into a pot. This pot, though, is combined with everybody else's pot that works for the same company. So it's not really your pot, it's the company's pot. And then they make a promise that every month you work there, they will pay you a certain pension. And that pension is based on how much your salary is and, as I say, how many months you've worked there. It's not based on how the investments perform like a private pension. It's basically a formula on how long you worked there times the amount you earned. And because you can use this formula to work out how much you will be paid, and it's not reliant on the investments, then the official name for the pension is defined benefit pension, because we can define what you get out at the end. So, a quick summary. State pensions paid to you from what's collected from other people who are paying NI from their wages. There's no pot of money that has been saved for you. Private sector pensions, now this is money that's saved in a big pot for you, and what you can take out is dependent on how well it's been invested. But public sector pensions, another big pot of money lumped together with everybody else's that works for the same company. It's not dependent on how well it's invested. It's paid based on how long you've worked there and how much salary you received when you were there. So I hope that's been useful. They're the three main pensions I wanted to chat about today. There's a huge amount more to learn about pensions, but I'm not going to go into them here. Hope to see you on the next one.